The Industrial Revolution and Architectural Change. The Industrial Revolution changed architecture by introducing new materials and building methods. Factories and mass production made materials like steel, glass, and concrete widely available. This led to buildings that were bigger, stronger, and more functional. The machine age brought a focus on efficiency, simplicity, and standardization. Movements like Bauhaus and the International style promoted designs and reflected modern industry, focusing on clarity, order, and functionality. The new materials also allowed for taller buildings, leading to the birth of skyscrapers in cities like New York and Chicago. The invention of elevators and steel frame construction made it possible to build upward rather than outward. This not only changed city skylines but also transformed the way people live and work. Architects aim to use these new technologies to create a better world, where buildings were designed logically and efficiently to serve the needs of modern life.
Machine aesthetic and functionalism. Architects like Le Corbusier, Walter Gropius, and Mies van der Rohe saw buildings as machines for living. They removed decorative details using simple geometric shapes and open floor plans. Their goal was to make buildings more functional and efficient. However, this strict approach sometimes ignored human needs, making buildings feel cold and impersonal. The idea of form follows function became popular, but some critics argued that it limited creativity and made cities look too uniform. Functionalist architecture emphasized mass production and standardization. Buildings were often designed using modular principles, meaning that parts would be manufactured separately and then assembled on site. While this made construction more efficient, it also sometimes resulted in repetitive and uninspiring designs. Many housing projects built with the intention of providing affordable homes ended up feeling sterile and unwelcoming due to this rigid approach.
Benham's critique of machine age architecture. Benham admired the innovation of modernist architects, but also criticized their rigid ideas. He believed International style lacked emotional depth and cultural meaning. The focus on efficiency led to buildings that looked similar, no matter where they were built. Benham argued that architecture should be more flexible and responsive to different cultures and human experiences. He warned that an architecture focused only on industry and machines could lose its connection to people. Benham also questioned the assumption that modernist buildings were truly efficient. He pointed out that many of the materials used, like large sheets or glass, led to issues with climate control. While modernist buildings aimed for simplicity, they often required expensive solutions like air conditioning to remain functional. Benham's critics encouraged later architects to rethink how buildings interact with their environment and whether efficiency should be the only goal.
Modern cities and industrialization. Benham also explored how industrialization shaped modern cities. While new materials and planning ideas led to efficient cities, they also created problems. Many modern cities became too structured and impersonal. With large-scale housing projects and strict zoning rules, cities like New York and Berlin reflected the machine age aesthetic. But sometimes, at the cost of human comfort, Benham pointed out that a city should be more than just functional. It should also be a place where people feel connected to their environment. The introduction of automobiles also changed urban planning. Roads were designed to accommodate cars rather than pedestrians, leading to sprawling suburbs and highways cutting through cities. While cars provided convenience, they also contributed to the loss of walkable neighborhoods and community spaces. Benham recognized that cities needed to find a balance between technological progress and preserving the social and cultural aspects of urban life.
Venturi's rejection of purism. In his book Complexity and Contradiction in Architecture, Venturi challenged modernist ideas. He rejected the idea that less is more and famously said, less is a bore. He believed architecture should embrace variety, complexity, and contradiction. He argued that buildings should mix different styles, include decorative elements and reflect the messy, diverse nature of human life. Instead of making everything look clean and simple, he wanted architecture to be playful, expressive, and rich in meaning. Venturi saw beauty in the unexpected. He appreciated historic buildings that combined different styles over time and argued that contemporary architects should do the same. His ideas influenced the postmodern movement, which celebrated ornamentation, bold colors, and diverse influences. Venturi believed that architecture should be engaging and exciting rather than the strictly functional.
Embracing complexity in design. Venturi's design philosophy encouraged architects to mix different styles. A building doesn't have to follow just one style. It can combine old and new elements. Embrace ambiguity. Buildings can have multiple meanings and functions rather than just one clear purpose. Celebrate decoration. Ornamentation and extra details can make a building more interesting and meaningful. Allow for contradictions. Architecture should reflect real life, which is often full of contradictions and surprises. Venturi's ideas opened the door for postmodern architecture, which challenged modernist simplicity and brought back historical influences and decoration. His work encouraged architects to be more experimental and to see buildings as more than just machines.
The role of technology in architecture. Technology continues to influence architecture in both good and bad ways. Positive ways. New materials and sustainable designs help create energy-efficient buildings. Digital tools like 3D printing and AI allow for new and exciting designs. Smart cities use technology to improve urban life and make cities more available. Negative impacts. Some architects focus too much on flashy, futuristic designs rather than practical needs. Cities around the world start to look too similar, losing their unique cultural identities. The push for efficiency can sometimes make buildings feel cold and uninviting. Both Benham and Venturi warn that while technology is important, architecture should not lose its connection to people and culture.
Lessons from the past and future directions. Benham and Venturi both offer valuable lessons. Benham acknowledges that the machine age brought great innovation but warns against making architecture too rigid. Venturi goes further, arguing for a more flexible, expressive, and diverse approach. Together, their ideas suggest that the future of architecture should balance innovation with cultural and human values. Instead of following strict rules, architects should embrace creativity, history, and diversity in their designs.
Conclusion: finding a balance. As architecture continues to evolve, architects must balance new technology with cultural identity and human needs. The machine age brought many important ideas, but the future must be more adaptable and inclusive. Benham and Venturi remind us that architecture should not be reduced to a single style or philosophy. Instead, it should continue to grow and change, reflecting the complexity and the richness of human life. By embracing both tradition and innovation, architecture can remain meaningful and dynamic for generations to come.